First, a colonel convicted of a sex crime 3 months ago still works at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base as if nothing happened. This, despite the United States Air Force maintaining it has a zero tolerance when it comes to sexual assault and sexual imposition. Tonight, only Pam Elliott of 2 News Investigates goes after an explanation.
Well, Katie, it turns out while I was seeking answers about zero tolerance, someone even closer to the situation was as well.
A strange man just walked up to me. He was making a strange sexual gesture towards me and then immediately propositioned oral sex.
What did you do?
I was afraid of him and I immediately left the area.
Did you see him again?
I did.
This woman was among those who testified against Colonel Mayan Shaw during his sexual imposition trial in Dayton. She says she contacted the prosecutor's office only after hearing reports that other women had been victimized by Shaw at the same place and at about the same time.
I was very hesitant about coming forward and testifying in that case because I knew that it could affect my work environment.
Her work environment because days after she says Shaw propositioned her at a festival in Dayton, she saw him in uniform in her building at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. It turns out they both work at Headquarters Air Force Material Command. She as a civilian.
Then, later to see him that he's in my building, walking around with colonel rank, I was shocked.
A jury found Shaw guilty of sexual imposition in June. In July, he was sentenced to probation and ordered to register as a Tier 1 sex offender, which 2 News Investigates found that he did. Did you think it was over then?
I did. I thought that I would return to work and that I would not have any future contact with Colonel Shaw. And this is in part due to this zero tolerance policy that the Air Force and Wright-Pat is purporting.
But that wasn't the case.
It was terrifying. It was scary to see him at work because, number one, I was shocked. I wasn't expecting to see him. And it's very uncomfortable to see someone standing outside your workspace that you just recently testified against.
For months, I asked Wright-Pat to explain how Colonel Shaw could keep his position on base if there is indeed zero tolerance. I even left a message for Shaw.
Colonel Shaw, this is Pam Elliott of WDTN.
I never did hear from the colonel, but I did public affairs. Before Shaw's conviction, I got this email stating the Air Force has zero tolerance for sexual assault to include sexual imposition. Then, after he was sentenced for sexual imposition, I received this email. Colonel Shaw is an active member of the Air Force, stationed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and performing duties as assigned to him. Any impacts to Colonel Shaw's rank, benefits, or retirement as a result of this matter are employment records and, as such, subject to the Privacy Act. Then, August 15th, this email. Below is our final response to your questions. Colonel Shaw is currently assigned to the Headquarters Air Force Material Command. With regard to our definition of zero tolerance, it means we do not tolerate sexual assault, period. So I went to the top. I called General Janet Wolfenbarger's office to set up an appointment. Within minutes, I heard from Ron Fry in Public Affairs, stating he speaks for the general.
That's all I've been asking for, Ron, is clarification, so that I better understand how someone convicted of sexual imposition can continue in his position there at Wright-Patterson.
Where do you go from here?
I'm not really sure. Like I said, I've been told that really the only solution that's been provided to me is that I change my life, that I change my work environment. And if I'm not willing to do that, I'm forced to work in the same building down the hallway from a man that propositioned sex to me.
After reaching out to her management and being given options to move or have a male escort her to the bathroom, she sent this email to General Wolfenbarger earlier this week. She told me it led to a meeting with a one-star general, but nothing has changed. So she agreed to do this interview. Tonight, she still doesn't know how the Air Force can claim to have zero tolerance for sexual misconduct. Pam Elliott, 2 News investigates.